What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again, and I am back for my Week 10 NFL predictions. Now, Week 9 just ended with the Seattle Seahawks beating the Buffalo Bills. No surprise there. So, Week 9, I was 8-5. So, that's another winning week. So, we continue, and we're already at the midway point. And my record so far, overall, from Week 1 to Week 9 is 76-54. So, people wanted to know what my overall record is so far. That's my record of 76-54. Now, before I get into these picks, I want to thank everybody who did watch my Week 9 picks. 279 views on my Week 9 picks. So I really want to thank everybody who saw it. I want to welcome new subscribers to the channel. Welcome to this Dangerous Alliance featuring me, JT Dangerously. And I want to thank everybody who did comment. Saw a few Cowboy fans there talking about Dak Prescott, so that was good. Some familiar faces in there. Four likes, one dislike. That's alright. It's all good. I'm happy with what I got. So let's get right into these Week 10 picks. Starting, of course, with the byes. So, of course, the byes are the Buffalo Bills, the Detroit Lions, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Oakland Raiders. Now, if you have any players on those teams, out of those 4 teams, make sure you, of course, this is like a fantasy reminder, to make sure you put suitable replacements, because you don't want to go into a fantasy matchup with byes. That's never fun. So let's get right into these Week 10 picks, starting with the Thursday night matchup. The Cleveland Browns heading to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. Now, of course, the Cleveland Browns did lose to the Dallas Cowboys, blowout fashion, which was great. They did look good, but again, they're still winless. They're 0-9, so they're not looking to win anything. They're out of playoff contention, so they're not looking to win anything. Then you have the Baltimore Ravens, who did beat the Pittsburgh Steelers handily. Like, defensive struggle. The Pittsburgh didn't look good. I'll get to Pittsburgh when we get to the Dallas matchup. In this matchup, I am going to take the Baltimore Ravens to win, because I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland beats them, but I think Baltimore is the better team, and of course they are in first place in the AFC North, so look out for them in the North. So I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Cleveland Browns. Now the Sunday slate, of course, at 10 a.m., 1 p.m. starts. Starting with the Green Bay Packers heading to Nashville to play the Tennessee Titans. Now, of course, the Green Bay Packers did lose to the Indianapolis Colts, surprisingly. Rodgers didn't look as crisp as he was last week, so big loss. And then you have the Tennessee Titans, who lost to the San Diego Chargers, which was a shootout until the end. Then San Diego took over. Now with this game, Randall Cobb did play when they said he didn't play, so they kind of obviously lied to me about that. If he had Randall Cobb, that he did get a touchdown in that game. But the Packers look like they look like they're on the right track, even though they lost. They looked good. Now you have Tennessee. Tennessee looked good. I mean, you didn't get anything from DeMarco Murray fantasy-wise, but if you had Marcus Mariota or Delaney Walker, he helped you out big time, and that's not bad. That's always good. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Green Bay Packers to beat the Tennessee Titans. Now the next matchup. The Minnesota Vikings heading to D.C. to play the Washington Redskins. Now, of course, the Minnesota Vikings did lose again. Let me just say this right now. Is Minnesota looking like the team that's going to be they were the last undefeated team. They had already lost 4 straight. They're 5-4 in the North, and now they're heading to DC to play the Washington Redskins, who just came off of a bye. So bye teams usually do really well coming off byes. So with the Minnesota Vikings, I don't know what you can say about them. I mean, their running game is non-existent without Adrian Peterson. I thought their defense was going to do something against Detroit. They didn't. Poor tackling against Golden Tate in overtime, which was like, where was the tackling in that game? Then you have the Washington Redskins coming off a bye, so they'll be fresh. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Washington Redskins to beat the Minnesota Vikings, to continue the slide of the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC North. Now the next matchup. The Chicago Bears heading to Florida to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, of course, the Chicago Bears were on a bye, so rest for the Bears, but really doesn't matter because the Bears are terrible. So, except for what they did on Monday, Jay Cutler looked good. Jeffrey got a touchdown. Jordan Howard looked good in running back. So they had some promise, but they're still terrible in the North. Then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who got destroyed by the Atlanta Falcons. which was no surprise. Of course, Mike Evans did have a concussion, but I did see on ESPN.com that he was practicing, so it looks like he will be 100% to play, but just in case, if you have him, keep an eye on him. Of course, Jameis Winston, still no Doug Martin, so they're going with their backups. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Chicago Bears. I think it's more of they're at home, they need a win. Chicago really doesn't need it because they're terrible. Now the next matchup, the Kansas City Chiefs heading to Carolina to play the Carolina Panthers. Now, of course, the Chiefs did beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, but let me just say something. Tight end, Travis Kelce. You don't get a touchdown, you get flagged. You throw your flag at the ref and you get ejected. You know what happens now with that? How stupid that was and childish? You just made the list. Because that's just childish. Travis Kelce, if you have Travis Kelce on your fantasy team, you know he gives you good numbers. But, okay, yeah, you didn't get a touchdown. You didn't have to throw the flag at the ref just because he called a flag on you. That's childish. So, Travis Kelce, you're on the list of dangerously. Travis Kelce, stupid idiot. But I digress. Chiefs did look good. Of course, Alex Smith did not play. Nick Foles did. He looked kind of shaky, but their defense got it done. Their defense got it done. Marcus Peters, Ronda, Eric Berry, everybody did good in it. Then you have the Carolina Panthers, who did beat the LA Rams. Of course, I'll take that loss. Carolina looked good on defense. They looked good on defense. Offense, they didn't score a lot of points. It was a very low-scoring 13-10 win. So it's going to be a very good defensive matchup, and it's in Carolina, and Carolina has been winning, so it's good. But in this matchup, I am going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to beat them. If Alex Smith doesn't play, I still trust Nick Foles to get it done. And hopefully Spencer Ware comes back because he did not play in this game. Jeremy Maclin was hurt, so he did not play in this game. So I'm hoping Kansas City can win this game. So I'm taking Kansas City to beat Carolina. Now the next matchup. The Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons, heading to Philly to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, of course, the Atlanta Falcons did win on Thursday Night Football. Julio Jones did work. Devontae Freeman did work. Matty Ice did work. Falcons are looking good. Of course, I got them winning the South this season, so Falcon fans be happy. Then you have the Philadelphia Eagles, who did lose to the New York Giants. And I'm going to just say right now, Eagle fans, you had that win. You had it. You can't blame Wentz on that. Your defense picked off Eli 3 times, yet it's not on Wentz. Wentz did not have a great game. I'll even admit it. Wentz did not have a great game against the Giants. Their defense, on the other hand, did a fantastic job. They picked them off, but again, clutch did not come in Wentz's favor this week. And this is going to be a really good game. Great defense against a great offense in the Falcons, of course. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Atlanta Falcons to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, Eagles fans. Just gotta go with the team that's on a winning streak so far. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Philly wins that game. But I am going to take the Atlanta Falcons over the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the next matchup, the LA Rams heading to New York to play the New York Jets. Now, of course, the LA Rams did lose to the Carolina Panthers at home. They're sticking with Keenum. I don't know why. They're sticking with Keenum. Their defense kept, this could have been a blowout yesterday against Carolina, but their defense kept them just 13 points. Carolina usually scores 20 plus points. They kept Carolina at 13 points, which is pretty good for their defense. Offensive wise, of course, Gurley didn't do as much. Quick and Kendricks did good for the wide receivers work, but if the people want Jared Goff, give it to him. Give us him. You're waiting till you guys are out of contention in the playoffs, which I can totally understand that from a football perspective. But if the fans are saying we want Goff, and I did hear a few, we want Tebow, which is he's already doing baseball, so let him go. But if the fans want Jared Goff, and Case Keenum's doing great, but let's see what this rookie's got. And then you have the New York Jets, who of course lost. And Jets fans, let me just say this right now. Jets sucks, because they suck. They're terrible. What do you call it? They lose to the Dolphins, of course. They let Jay Ajayi run for another 100 yards. Of course, he's the boy from Boise State, so you can't go wrong with that kid. One of the great great running backs in the AFC for sure. Jets, of course, Fitzpatrick got hurt, so they went with Bryce Petty out of Baylor. But he came back, and yet they still lost from a kick return. So, in this matchup, and I hate to even make this pick this team again, I am going to pick the New York Jets to beat the LA Rams because I think the Jets can't get any worse. They're last place in the Patriots AFC East, so you can't get any worse. You'd be looking for draft picks in the next round. So I'm going to take the New York Jets to beat the LA Rams. Now the next matchup. The Denver Broncos heading to the Superdome to play the New Orleans Saints. Now, of course, the Denver Broncos did lose to the Oakland Raiders on Sunday Night Football, which was great. So we're going to have a new winner in the AFC West for sure. So I'm very happy for the Oakland Raiders. Denver did look good, but of course they did not have a keep to leave at corner, so it was really tough to stop the Raiders' offense. So they look good, but of course they got beat. They have the New Orleans Saints, who did look good against the 49ers. Of course, Drew Brees looked fantastic. Mark Ingram had over 100 yards. And what do you call it? Everybody did good on that game. This one's going to be a very interesting matchup because New Orleans looks like they're back at 500 or 4-4 in the South. They could be that team to look out for in Atlanta. So Falcons fans, you better look out for the Saints because they're coming back. They were looking terrible, then they're looking like they're back on the page. So in this matchup, I am going to take the New Orleans Saints to beat the Denver Broncos to continue the losing streak for the Broncos, because what can be better than seeing the Broncos continue to lose and keep dropping out of that playoff spot? So again, I'm taking the Saints over the Broncos. Now the next matchup, the Houston Texans heading to Jacksonville to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, of course, Houston Texans did have a bye this week, so they're coming off a bye, and they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who did lose to KC. Of course, this is an AFC South battle. First place, Houston Texans against, I think, last place Jacksonville. So this is kind of an AFC South matchup. I kind of think this is going to be a one-sided one because Houston's a lot better, and Jacksonville is just turning into the team that nobody's going to believe in. And I'm sorry, Jacksonville Jaguar fans. This team's terrible. And I wouldn't be surprised Gus Bradley gets fired after this season because they're going to be in the top 5 in the draft picks. That is for sure. So I am going to take the Houston Texans to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now the next matchup, the Miami Dolphins heading to Qualcomm to play the San Diego Chargers. Now, of course, the Miami Dolphins did beat the New York Jets from a kickoff return. Jay Ajayi did good straight out of Boise State. Yes, sir. They did good. Tannehill looked good. But it was mostly the Jay Ajayi show, which is fantastic because he played at Boise State and I'm a Boise State football fan. So I'm happy to see him do that. Then you have the San Diego Chargers, who did beat Tennessee. Melvin Gordon. If you had Melvin Gordon III on your fantasy league, 31 fantasy points for Melvin Gordon. They just gave him the rock, shoved it down Tennessee's throat, and what does he do? He gives us over 200 yards, passing and running and receiving, and a touchdown. So if you had Melvin Gordon, good for you. I mean, I had him on one of my fantasy teams on NFL.com, which is Team Craven. Yes, I do name my fantasy teams from DC, Marvel, and Fox characters. So, of course, I had him on my team, which was good. I mean, he really helped. And, of course, Phillip Rivers looked good. Antonio Gates looked good. Of course, Joey Bosa got hurt again, so keep your eye on that if you have San Diego's defense. But in this matchup, I am going to take the Miami Dolphins to beat San Diego, and I like to see San Diego stop Jay Ajayi from getting 100 yards because what can you say? I mean, Jay Ajayi is getting 100 yards in 3 straight games. 2 200-yard games and a 100-yard game yesterday against the Jets. I mean, try to stop him, Chargers. dare you to stop Jay Ajayi from getting to 100 yards. So I'm taking the Miami Dolphins to beat the San Diego Chargers. Now the next matchup. The Dallas Cowboys. The first place NFC East leading Dallas Cowboys heading to Hines to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, of course, the Dallas Cowboys looked good. They put a blowout. I saw a few comments saying Dallas was going to blow out Cleveland, and of course you were right. They blew them out. Zeke the Freak, 2 touchdowns, not 100 yards, but 2 touchdowns. I think a few yards away from 100 yards. Dak Prescott 3 touchdowns, Witten over 100 yards. Oldest tight end to get to 100 yards in a long time, so congrats to Witten. Dez didn't do much, but if it was Witten, Zeke the Freak, and Dak Prescott, you got it done. Then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, of course, they did lose to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I'm going to say this right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me just say this right now. You just made the list. The whole Steelers organization made the list for no offense for most of the fucking game. Nothing. No offense. Like, they were just, like, every possession was punt, repeat, punt, a few touchdowns, but they came back late. They were trying to come back late, and here's the other one who's on the list. Chris Boswell, the kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, of course, if you watch that game or you've seen on YouTube, he did one of the stupidest looking kicks, onside kicks you ever see, trying to get fancy. So Chris Bosworth, you're on the list of dangerously because of how stupid you're trying to be, trying to kick that ball like a soccer ball. Like, this is football. This is not soccer. Don't get cute with the ball. You were trying to win. Your team was trying to win the game. You try to do some stupid, idiotic kick. Like, it's maybe even the refs were laughing of how stupid that was. So Chris Bosworth, kicker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you just made my list of dangerously for being a stupid idiot. Chris Bosworth and Pittsburgh Steelers, both are stupid idiots. Of course, Ben Roethlisberger did come back. He did not look good. It was not a great game for the Steelers, for sure. He did not look good. And now they're playing against a strong Dallas team that's only lost once, and they're sticking with a rookie, which is fantastic. And I'm getting really sick and tired of this story. Like, I was listening on Game Day Morning on Sunday, they were saying, they're still doing this debate on start Dak or start Romo. If you know me, and I've talked about this a lot on my week picks, Dak Prescott is your starter, Cowboy fans. Romo is done. If I was you, trade him. But knowing Jerry Jones, he loves Tony Romo so much that he's hoping he does anything for the Cowboys when Dak Prescott's doing everything. He is literally winning. Unlike Romo, he doesn't win. He doesn't win in the clutch. Dak Prescott's doing things that Romo couldn't even do in his lifetime. And Zeke the Freak, he's getting close. I was seeing that he is getting closer to passing Eric Dickerson's rookie record, so keep your eye on that if you're a big Zeke the Freak fan, if you want to see him break Eric Dickerson's record, because that record's been there a long time. So, hey, records are meant to be broken. So in this matchup, I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys again to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Dallas is maybe the best team in the NFC. Second to the Hawks, second to the Vikings, second to the Lions. So I'm taking Dallas over Pittsburgh. Now the next matchup in the Seattle leading NFC West. The San Francisco 49ers heading to Glendale to play the Arizona Cardinals. Now this is kind of a joke. This is kind of a not an interesting matchup because I don't like San Francisco and I don't like Arizona. San Francisco did look good in a loss. First half they were doing things. Second, third, fourth half was nothing. They were just getting blown the fuck out. Kaepernick looked good, but of course that was all in the first half, and then second half, third half they couldn't score. So they have some problems. They can score in the first half, but second, third, and fourth they can't. And then you have the Arizona Cardinals, of course, coming off a bye. So they're going to be rested. They're at home, and it's against a West rival. So I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Now the Sunday night football matchup. With my two teams playing each other. Seattle Seahawks heading to Gillette to play my Seattle Seahawks heading to Gillette to play my New England Patriots. Now I'm not going to make this pick I'm gonna talk about, of course, Bennett and Chancellor and Rawls did not play on Monday Night Football, so they better hope they have him against the Patriots, because the Patriots look like the better team. Brady's back. Brady's in that MVP form. And now we're going to do it like this. I got a coin. It's a two-faced coin, of course, because I am a Batman fan. Love Two-Face. I'm going to flip this coin, and this is going to be my pick. So, good heads, I'm taking the Patriots. Bad heads, I'm taking the Seahawks. It's bad heads, so I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to upset the New England Patriots. Of course, I am not watching this game because when both of my teams play, it's hard to watch because I don't want to start favoring one team for the other. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be out by the time this game starts. So again, I am taking the Seattle Seahawks over the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Now the Monday night matchup that goes against, of course, Monday Night Raw. The Cincinnati Bengals heading to Gotham to play the New York Giants. Now, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals are coming off a bye, rested. They have Eifert back, Hill's doing work, Andy Dalton's looking good. Of course, I think they're in second or third place behind Baltimore in the AFC North. So keep an eye on them. Then they have the New York Giants, who I'm just gonna say this right now, Giants fans, you barely won that game. If you didn't stop them on fourth down, you would have lost that game. And then with the New York Giants, Victor Cruz did get hurt, so if you have Victor Cruz, keep your eye on him going into this game on Monday, because he did have a high ankle sprain. He's going to have an MRI today, so of course keep your eyes open. So in this matchup, I am going to take the New York Giants to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, because I think the Giants are moving up a little bit and in the East, so I think the Giants will win this game. And those are my Week 10 NFL predictions. I hope you enjoyed my predictions. Comment below, who do you have winning? Of course, I'm always on to see your comments and of course reply to them. Kind of cool like that. I love reading your replies of how much you believe in your football teams. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.